the real issue for Tesla.
On TV, Colin Rusch explained what the real Tesla stock issue is in his opinion. He's currently ranked number 8 on all of Wall Street, which makes him the highest ranking analyst on all of Wall Street who also analyzes Tesla, and his average return for Tesla per rating was almost 160%. Let's dive in.
Colin, you surprised the stock isn't holding its gains today?
Not really. I mean, the truth of the matter is that Tesla continues to have an important technology lead in the EV space. A lot of their competitors are really struggling on production and cost reduction. And so as we look at Elon's attention span and the depth of management at Tesla, this isn't a huge change to see him resigning from the CEO position at Twitter. The team at Tesla is a deep, very talented team, and it's very focused. Certainly he's going to have his hands full on the technology side at Twitter for sure. But right. I think the real issue for Tesla now is around demand. And I think the thing that may happen here with the Twitter change is really a repair of the Tesla brand with a certain segment of society.
The main reason why Colin downgraded Tesla stock from buy to hold, he said late last year, was because he was concerned about Tesla's brand, because Elon was tweeting on Twitter and the takeover was not exactly received very warmly by one political side, and that was his reasoning, and he wanted to give Tesla some time to see if there is any real brand damage. And he thought that brand damage could lower Tesla's demand. So really for Colin, it's all about demand. I think if he sees inventory levels relatively high and if prices do not go up, maybe he won't change his mind and he won't say buy Tesla. But if all of a sudden Tesla starts increasing prices because the inventory keeps going down, I think he will re-rate Tesla and he will say buy Tesla stock again.
People have talked about how much Tesla has fallen as a result of everything Musk has done on Twitter and his comments there. Do you think he is reacting to that by bringing in someone who's extremely professional, moving it in more of an ad-friendly way, which has to negate some of the more problematic speech that was viewed as hurting his reputation? So do you think that's partly what this is about? And again, if that's all what's going on here, you'd think Tesla could at least stay positive for a session.
I think it's probably part of what's going on here. I mean, I think the big issue for Twitter is around revenue. We're certainly not covering that company as a private company, but the cash flow is the real concern for Tesla investors for sure, as they look at Elon, selling more of his stake potentially, which does not appear to be a need at this point. So for us with Tesla, it's really a larger picture around what's going on in the competitive landscape, but also the broader macro environment for vehicle sales and EV adoption. Certainly with what we've seen year to date, it's been actually pretty positive, especially for Tesla. They've had healthy numbers in terms of sell-through. We're seeing a bunch of their competitors falter as they go through initial ramps for some of the startups and even some of the established OEMs struggling with software and other issues. And so the setup for Tesla is good, and the question is around what the margin profile looks like, and that's very much in flux. They have enough granular data to be able to change prices on a regular basis by geography, and we're watching that play out in the media.
Colin is right when he says competition is struggling. I mean, Lucid sells their cars on average at $106,000, but loses overall $550,000 per car sold when we look at the balance sheet. According to CarEdge, Ford's inventory is getting worse when we look at the Mach-E. It used to be 124 days of supply in April, but now it's at 154 days of supply. And you can go to this website and see exactly where each one of these vehicles is. So this data seems real and is really scary for Ford.
Can you take us through, as an analyst, how influential Tesla is with regard to setting prices in the auto market, not just for EVs, but possibly the auto industry writ large?
I think it's critical, from a functionality perspective. We're really watching this next rollout of the self-driving technology to look at how they position that, how the technology works, and what the pricing model ultimately looks like. The message that they put out in the last quarter was that they were out looking for users, right? They were out getting customers to buy the vehicles that they could then upgrade through services and other revenue streams. streams. I think what we're watching to see is how that plays out here. We certainly see them with a cost advantage in a number of geographies where they're actually generating cash. They're at a sustainable growth pace, and what this looks like from a margin perspective, both at the vehicle level but then at the add-on level, is critical to what the valuation is on the stock. And I think it's TBD, to be honest, and that's what we're watching for here over the next several months.
I wonder if Colin drives a Tesla, and if he does he have full self-driving beta? Because it is pretty astounding to have seen all of this progress that Tesla has made in the last 12 months, and especially in about the last 3 months. The last big update, specifically 11.3.6 for me, was a noticeable improvement, although some people are saying that the latest version is a regression actually and not really an improvement. But that often happens when a new version initially rolls out and then it gets refined and then everyone goes, oh, it is actually better. There's also a big recall in China for Tesla, and there's a new lawsuit.
China recall, this happened overnight. Just about every single car that Tesla has churned out on the ground in China has been recalled. I believe the information was that there are concerns that there were regulators that did not allow drivers to turn off the braking or provide enough warnings when drivers stepped on the accelerator too quickly. I'm not worried so much about recalls because they can do a lot of this via software updates, and yet
it's all software.
Yeah, it's all software.
But even mainstream media says it's just a software update. It just goes to show you how insignificant this really is. And here's something absolutely crazy. Normally, in every article from mainstream media, at least if you scroll down to the bottom, you will find a sentence that says, oh, but this recall will be fixed via a software update. I go to CNN, and there's this article, Tesla to recall 1.1 million cars in China over potential safety risks, the Chinese regulator says. Look at the wording that CNN uses here. The US company will take back 1.1 million vehicles that were produced between January 12, 2019 and April 24, 2023. The State Administration for Market Regulation said in a statement citing a plan filed by Tesla with the regulator. Take back, meaning this clearly implies and says also that Tesla will physically take these vehicles back and then fix the issues physically, not via a software update. Pretty much all other news outlets say that the issue can be fixed with a software update, and falsely, China's market regulator said. So you could say, oh, but CNN said that the regulator said you have to take in the car. No, the regulator said that the updates will be done wirelessly via the air. Here's Reuters as well saying it will be over the air. Bloomberg also. The Verge too. So what's up, CNN? Also, CNN announced some breaking news here. The models to be recalled include imported Model S, X, Model 3, and China-made Model 3 and Model 6. Good reporting, CNN. And this recall is so ridiculous. The vehicles have issues that may increase the probability of drivers mistakenly stepping on the accelerator pedal for an extended period, which could increase the risk of collision and pose a safety hazard, the statement said. There's nothing wrong with these Teslas. What is happening here is people are confusing which pedal to press, and that happens with other vehicles as well. But because these other vehicles are not that fast, you floor the car, and unless you are in a Lamborghini, the car will not move fast. But in a Tesla, you go fast. So Tesla is not fixing anything. It is adding a new feature which will improve the experience if you somehow happen to be a moron and press the wrong pedal to control the vehicle. It is just making the car better, but it's not fixing anything that is faulty. Calling this situation a recall is a little bit like calling this software update a recall also, an update that actually gave more range to existing vehicles. The only thing that I can see from this recall after reading 5 articles is that Chinese regulators are requiring Tesla to give people an option to completely turn off the regen braking. Anyway, the most ridiculous part of this article is that it doesn't mention anywhere that this will be fixed via a software update. To me, this shows that perhaps CNN has a very clear agenda against Elon Musk and Tesla, or that they are extremely incompetent. Both scenarios are pretty bad.
But there's also a class action suit here in the United States that's been filed.
Yeah, this is nonsensical stuff. The term recall is from a different generation. And today, when they say recall, what they really mean is a 30-minute update of the software in your computer. So if Apple had to issue a recall every time they updated the software on your phone, you'd get a recall every 4 weeks from Apple, right? So it's a modern technology product, and it needs to be updated. So there's nothing wrong with the cars in China, and the headlines have blown this well out of proportion, and Tesla's able to fix these things very easily.
This new class action lawsuit claims that Model S and X owners saw a decreased range after one of these updates. It doesn't seem serious to me. I mean, in the worst case, I guess Tesla could just update the software to what it was before. It's another headline, but I don't think it's serious.
Just got to get your thought on tech overall. We just spoke about utilities and defensive plays like very short-term T-bills. Is tech the place to be? Because it's actually shown some pretty decent muscle lately.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people now perceive Microsoft, Apple, and Google as stronger than the United States government itself. And so it's become a safe haven asset. Well, if you're buying treasuries when they're saying they're going to default, isn't that counterintuitive? They're saying they're not going to pay on the treasuries you're going to buy to hide. So maybe you're better off just buying Apple, because we know that's not going away. If all hell breaks loose, we know Google's not going away. So I think that supports these stocks during these times of uncertainty.
Yeah, Apple year to date, 32% gain.
And Tesla stock year to date is up 55% so far. This video explains why Tesla board members are now buying more Tesla stock. My name is Matt. Please like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.